Hi, and welcome to Connected Conversations for Creatives, a place where creatives like you can learn, grow, and connect. I'm your host, Jennifer Carr. Imagine for a moment a life without memories, where every experience, every emotion, and every cherished moment simply fades into oblivion. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? Memories are the stories we carry with us, the lessons we've learned, and the emotions we felt. But more than that, they are the keys to understanding who we are and how we've become the people we are today. Throughout history, humans have shown a deep desire to preserve their memories, knowledge, and stories. From oral traditions and cave paintings to the digital archiving of today, memory preservation continues to evolve to meet the changing needs and technologies of each era. Companies like MyArtKit have emerged to address the challenges of memory preservation in today's digital age. They offer services to store, organize, and enrich digital memories, ensuring that they are accessible to future generations. And here to tell us more about the art of memory preservation through technology is Noah Gebhardt, the founder of myartkit.com. So thank you, Noah, for being here today. I am so glad we get to sit down and have this conversation.
Oh, thanks, Jennifer, for having me on. This is going to be a good conversation. Very important conversation nowadays. We're
It
getting
really
into an age
is.
where everything is possible digitally, and it's very, very important conversation.
I agree. And I've got one question that I'm going to save it for the end, like when we kind of start wrapping up. It's a kicker that I literally stumbled on it this morning. And so I was like, okay, I need to add that to my notes. So it's coming, and there's a doozy if we don't already have it scheduled to talk about, like if you haven't even thought about it yet.
Okay.
So hope I'm real excited to hear your thoughts on it. But first, tell us about yourself and what inspired you to create the platform where you focus on preserving and passing down these digital legacies.
Oh, yeah, you can really kind of take the Wayback Machine. We're going to go back about the early '80s, and I had my daughter at that time was about 2.5, and we rented a big old VHS camera because she was going to go in for an open heart surgery. And we wanted to have memories of her just in case something was going to happen. It was an elective surgery, very, very low chances of any really bad things happening. But it's one of those things where if something would have happened, that would have been one of our most cherished possessions of her. Everything came across fine. I have no idea even where that. But then later on, in about the late '90s, I did the same thing with my dad with a little bit smaller camera now. I sat him down on a road trip back to Iowa, and I asked him about his questions about his life when he was a kid. A paper boy for a million years. He was drafted into the Korean War. What was that like? Gallon of milk. Where was that when the atomic bomb went off? Little things like that where you kind of go, oh, really? Really? That was fascinating. And then a couple of years after that, he passed away. But now I have these memories, and they're digital. And I passed on to me was also the family photo album. Luckily, that was actually saved from out in the garbage can years later. And yeah, so all of a sudden you have memories, past memories, what to do with them. So I burned the DVD, and then I thought, okay, cool. Well, now we go again a couple of years later after that, 10 years later after that. Where's the DVD? I'll just burn another. What computer was it on? What format was it in? Oh my gosh, that was just, and it started going around in my head. How do you preserve your digital memories or change stuff to digital memories, preserve them, the best cream of the crop, and pass them on to next generation, like passing on a big photo album, a family photo album. But we're able to put stories and stuff to everything now instead of just a picture.
That's pretty cool. So like what kind of storytelling is there? Like how does that process work? What does that look like?
Oh, with what we do, we can either have within you have your life account, and you can do like a little short video. Somebody asks you a question like, what was your first kiss? Something like that, and you could go off on that for 5-10 minutes. And then, or you have a picture. You upload a picture, and we have the capability with MyArkit of clicking on audio and adding an audio story to a picture. Not just, here's a picture, hope somebody knows what the heck's going on. Somebody can tell a picture. I tell people, it's like my first car, I had to tell them 10 minutes on I fixed it up, I did this, I learned how to drive, things like that. So, and then you have just a regular written stuff, almost like a diary, a daily diary type thing, where we call it the daily scribe. And just put your thoughts down. You can either do it audio or even put it in, just somebody asking you questions, put it down in audio format and arc it. We call it arc it.
I like that. And there are a lot of even digital memories are at a risk of being lost, because if you've ever had a hard drive crash or anything like that, you know that if you haven't done backups, then you are just up a creek. Like getting that stuff back is almost impossible, if not impossible. So, like, how do y'all go about, preserving legacies digitally where that's not going to be a risk?
We have a tiered program, I guess you could call it. First thing, for anybody out there saving stuff, like I have a backup on my computer. So anything I do, I back it up automatically on my computer. And some of your phones and stuff like that automatically have cloud backup. So you have some physical backup already, but that's always at risk. So now what we do is we back it up we arc it up into my ArcIT. You take one memory at a time, put a good memory to it, you arc it. And now that goes into our first layer of backup, which Bluehost, which is our main ISP, backs up through Amazon Web Service, which is a backup. And as we get bigger, we're also going to double backup with a totally separate company called Iron Mountain, which works with like the Fortune 1000. 95% of the Fortune 1000 companies use Iron Mountain. Banks use Iron Mountain. So we're going to have backup after backup after backup to where it's going to be preserved.
Nice. And so it's not even like, it sounds like you could access your memories just about anytime, anywhere.
Oh yeah, it's online stuff. So if you want to bring up your phone, you click on your Google Safari, or not Safari, but Google Chrome. We like that the best. And you just boom, get into your account, and you can if you have access and stuff to other people's accounts, like your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad type of thing, you can go into their account because they can put stuff into their account. And if you're connected together, you can see stuff that they're putting into their account, but nobody else gets to see it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So you can have like a family account where it's almost like a family archive then.
Yeah, we have another service called Events, where you buy the event. It's the same size as a regular my lifetime account, but the event is, let's say, working fantastic with your family photo album. So you have your whole family spread out there. They get on, they become just an event participant. They just sign up as a participant or a view only account, we call that. And they go to the event, which is family album. And now all of a sudden you're putting stuff into the family album, or they can see that stuff's in the family album. Or you have your moderators. You can have more than one moderator. You have, person here, a person there, being able to tell the stories to these pictures. And now you have your whole family that can see the family photo album at any time and add to it if they want to.
I love that. We used to use Shutterfly used to have a service that would allow you to, have albums, and then you could share your albums with people and that kind of thing. And they discontinued their share sites, and so it wasn't as convenient. But I loved to be able that my mom could just upload. She was going through and scanning all of our old like childhood pictures, and that we had like the one very cold winter we ever had where everything shut down. Well, that happens every year, at least if they threaten snow. They're like, oh, it might snow today. It never snows, but everything shuts down anyway. But we had like a week where it actually did get a little snowy and icy. And so in the northern part of the state. And so she spent that whole week scanning in all of our childhood pictures, just making album after album. And I loved being able to just log on to her share site and see those kinds of things. But like I said, they discontinued that service. So it's good to know, like I was looking for another resource for that because she went through all that effort to have all of it digitized, but then we can't share it. And so it's not the same. It's a little harder. So that's a pretty cool feature. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and we can, within your lifetime account, you can make an album. So I have an album made for wedding, album made for, of course, cars, pets, things like that. So you can have your album there. I have my mom, she passed away, and we had my brother, when he passed away, she had an album in her account. So we didn't have a lot of stuff on my brother. He was kind of a lone wolf type thing. I loved him to death, and that's one of those things we get to the end of the program we're going to get into, where you get memories. Don't waste your time. Get them now. But so he had an album within his of my brother then. So he didn't have to have his own account. So he just had an album within my mom's account. So you make an album or whatever you want to share, whoever you want to with it.
I love that. And this is just a philosophical question maybe, but why do you think it is that we want to be remembered? Why do you think people just have this need, this desire to be remembered?
I think that's just human nature. Some people want to say make a mark in the world, which they're a good or just, they have a family and they just want to pass down them. It could be something simple as, some bedtime stories or some little stories here and there, or my grandmother's chocolate chip cookie recipe, something like that. Just the little things that makes it personal. We're missing the personal family touch nowadays. It seems like everything, you get onto the internet and everything is like everybody else doing really strange things, but it's the personal thing that you want to once in a while get onto just your family and just, I don't have to worry about what my dad used to sound like. I can go right onto his account and boom, I can listen to some of the videos he did. Just boom, that quick.
I love that. I was there. I was watching a video the other day, and I was just sitting there bawling, and because it's what happens. But this girl's listening to like the last voicemail that her grandmother had ever sent her. Like that had ever left her, and I was just like, man, I didn't have that kind of relationship with my grandparents, but I can just imagine with my parents, because they're getting older. It is a fact of life. At one point or another, they're not going to be here, and so just to be able to hear that voice, to be, good morning, just wanted to call to say, hey, I love you, bye. To hear that again after they're gone, I can't even imagine the emotional, just one relief, but also, there's a little tug there that makes you go a little sad, but at the same time, there's a happiness that goes with it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely happiness. It's you don't want to dwell in the past, but we learn so much from the past.
Yeah,
and there is so much wisdom and stuff that we can learn from parents, grandparents, great grandparents. Now we have the capability, as technology goes forward, we're looking at people giving information generations into the future instead of just a picture. This person was a buffalo hunter or something like that. Well, we might not have it nowadays, but we get a lot of good information from somebody that's, just life information. And it would be so interesting to click on that, 4 generations back and have somebody talking about their life.
Yeah, no, that I agree, because how else do you learn other than to know what has already happened? That is what learning is. It's looking back and saying, okay, this is what worked for this group of people, and so we shouldn't try that, or it almost worked. Let's try that a little differently. And so there's so much wisdom and experience to be learned from, and so to have it recorded, no, that's fantastic. So what kind of what's the user friendliness of your process?
We try to keep it the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yes, I'm all about it.
Because we have a lot of, elderly people and people getting up into my ages and stuff. So we're trying to keep it simple. It's not all cluttered up with advertising, things like that. So you click onto your account, you get onto your account, and it's something simple as add material. You click on it, you got your big boxes, add a picture. You can drag a picture over. I love doing it from my desktop because you can organize things on your desktop and then start throwing stuff into different folders into your My Arc It account, into your Life account. Click on audio, tell a good story to it, arc it, boom, you're done. You can go on to the next one.
Yeah, that sounds pretty simple. I think I got that.
I'm trying to keep it simple. And events, if you want to get into events, is a total subcategory website to where a person now looks at an event for a wedding. They're super good for a wedding. Weddings, your yearbook. You have somebody going on to college or even high school, things like that. Have all your friends. I have a yearbook. I have no idea where it's at. Or if you do have a yearbook, how many people in it you don't even know. So have your friends and people adding stuff to your memory, your event, and have that for years and years and years.
Ooh, I like that. That's pretty cool. So thinking now, my husband is an IT guy and he was doing, cybersecurity for a while. So like in this age of like this increasing concern about digital privacy and security, it's one of those questions that just automatically pops into my head. How do you address these concerns and keeping people's memories private and secure, just for everyone's peace of mind?
Well, I guess we try to always work with the big guys. So we don't have servers and stuff like that. We work with Amazon Web Services and Bluehost, which is one of the top 5 IPSs and stuff out there. So they are the people that have the big, huge front doors, the security front doors. And then at the same time, we want to be able to have backup upon backup within Amazon Web Services and also going into Iron Mountain. So if a person gets into your account, you can delete an item one at a time if somebody actually hacked it. But that would take forever if you have thousands of stuff in there. So that's why we don't let people just dump a whole load of something in there and say, oh, somebody can get in there and take it all away. No. You one memory at a time, make it special, go on to the next memory. And we try to have the best security possible.
Sure. And that makes sense. And it is a really built-in kind of system when you are working with like Amazon, because they have their own pretty good security.
Right.
We use some of their photo upload stuff. And so it is actually a really good system to be using. So I was thinking about, I've been to funerals and that kind of thing where they have like they put together memory slideshows and stuff like that. Is that something that you can create from your website as well?
You're starting to tap into my brain for the future stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the things besides the family tree thing we want to do in the future, I also want to do what they call video on demand. So, well, let's say you have a eulogy or you have a family reunion or something like that, where maybe you have, well, let's take a eulogy first, where you click on, you do a eulogy, they click onto that site, and now you have your AI little bots and stuff put together stuff, and boom, you can see a big, you have your big screen TV up there, something like that, and they're putting together everything that you put in there for your life, and they kind of make a little movie out of it. So we have, video on demand. You can do the same thing, let's say, if you're doing a college reunion or a high school reunion, all those people that had stuff that was putting stuff in there or actually on my archive, they can link things together and pull stuff out of it. And then all of a sudden you're seeing people's lives and stuff over the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years and stuff like that. So I do want to do a video on demand. That's going to be, when we get bigger, definitely doing that.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I remember when my grandmother died. They were like, oh, we need somebody to put together a slideshow, which required everybody to go dig through all their photo albums and then scan them in, and then you put it together, and they would like use PowerPoint or something. It was nothing. And so I'm thinking that I was just wondering if that was something, because it would go right along with what you have to offer, is being able to just say, done, put it all together for you.
You click on a button, eulogy. Well, we have it to where if a person passes away, or when you first, let's go back one step. When you make up your get your lifetime account, you actually have in there where you're setting up your profile. And at the bottom of it, you have what they call executor. You assign your executor. So it has to be somebody else that's on my archive. You send them an email, you assign it, your executor to your account. So if then that person passes away, they can click into your account from the executor, click on a button, and now they change your site into a memorial site. So actually, if that happens there, all the stuff that you've added into there is actually set. You can't delete it, but you can add stuff to it. And now all they have to do is do another button and say a eulogy or something like that. Boom. And now it could be, however, it could be transmitted, downloaded type thing, but we would definitely want to do that for eulogy.
No, that's genius. I like it a lot. And I could even see how like a wedding rehearsal dinner or something like that, just being able to, with the family stuff and putting that all together. So I like it. That's good.
Yeah, events is for weddings. You go into some of the wedding sites. You can get stuff, or your album or something will be on the site. Well, then the next person you have, they got a wedding is on a different site, and then some of the stuff is now on a different site. So now basically you just go into my archive, go to the events button, you click on that, and then you see all your different events that you've actually participated in, put stuff into. You click on that event, and now you get to go right to that event and actually enjoy it. Add to it if you want to.
So simple. I like it. Okay, so thinking about you said the keyword that or the two letters that you said was AI. And so this is where the article I stumbled across this morning, it came into play. And I had never heard of this before, but they're calling it grief tech. And it is literally AI generated interactive memories. Okay. And so have you heard of this? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I haven't heard of that.
Okay. It's weird. I mean, it's different. It may not be weird, but it's different. So literally you take these memories that, photos and videos and voice recordings and stuff like that, and they are creating virtual reality interactive memories where, like, this woman, her daughter died when the daughter was, I think she was 7 or 8. And they took all of the videos and stuff they had of her, and it like rendered this virtual image of her that the mom could then interact with. What are your thoughts on something like that?
I would like to be able, possibly in the future, because all memories are going to be memories. Okay, video, AI, 3D type thing. They're going to be, well, AI is different, and I can see in the future where we can have more of a hologram type imaging of a person. But I really frown on AI generating memories, generating what's actual. You can't generate a Warren Williams. You can't generate an Einstein or somebody like that with their intellect, their humor. You just can't do it. I mean, you can. Hi, how you doing? Oh, we've had a nice day. Oh, did you get the mail? No, you want the fun stuff. You want the person you knew. So yeah, I would kind of frown on that big time.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting, and I just thought, it's the direction in which companies are going when it comes to memory preservation / generation. And I thought that's a little much, because like you said, you're at some point imputing computer generated memories or actions, or just the human soul is lacking. I realize that there aren't souls in memories, but the soul that you're interacting with in a memory, whereas these computer generated ones, I was just like, that might be a little much. And so I was just wondering if that was something that just wanted your opinion on it.
I just can't get it. If I knew it was an AI, it would be like, remember back when what was that movie with Harrison Ford, when he was trying to trick the computer generated no, what was that, gosh? Trying to trick her into finding out if she was a robot or not.
Yes.
And he had to go through so many questions where she would then kind of glitch. And it's the same process. It's just like, you can make somebody humanish, but you're not going to make them human.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it shouldn't be interactive either, I don't think, because the point of the memory is to remember it, not to relive it. And so that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just saying. We're all entitled to those opinions. But okay. So we are to the point where we're going to flip the script. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, let's just talk about Harley Davidson.
Perfect. I've never ridden a motorcycle before.
And I haven't ridden one for 40 years.
Well, but there you go. Yeah. Me neither.
Yeah. Well, it's been for so long. I used to ride a motorcycle way back when I was in my 20s. And I was getting to the age where it's just like, maybe I'm going through a second childhood or second 20s or something, where I just got to get an old Harley or something like that and just do some little short cruises around our peninsula, maybe, around Washington a little bit like that. But I thought, get some feedback on people and what they ride. And I'm not the kind of guy that gets a big full fairing type thing. I just want to have a bike and get onto and just go for a spin. And I thought, I've never had a Harley. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I don't know. They make me nervous. It's never been something that's appealed to me. I will say, so growing up in Gulf Shores, the snowbirds, if you will, all of the senior adults from Michigan and other northern states would, around Thanksgiving, they would come down and they would spend from Thanksgiving until like the springtime, trying to get past all the winter stuff. They'd come down and they would bring their Goldwing motorcycles. And so they're the 3 wheels and they look so comfortable. And I would get on one of those, but I yet to have in my life. So I don't know.
Actually, I rode with a good friend of mine way back when I was in my 20s. We did a road trip across the Canadian Rockies, like all across Canada, all the way to the Canadian Rockies and back down. And it is comfortable, but at the same time, I'm not going to want to spend that much time being really nasty to the rear end, because you're only going to go a couple 100 miles, and all of a sudden, especially when you get a little bit older, it's just like, no, I ain't going to do that no more.
It's only comfortable for so long. I mean, that's true for anything, really. It's only comfortable for so long.
Yeah. No, yeah. This is really great. 20 miles down the road. Where's the next rest stop? Yeah,
exactly.
Some people will drive it for like, 8 to 1,000 miles a day, where you do the Iron Cross or something like that, and it's just like, no, just give me short jaunts of 20 miles over here, 30 miles. You might stop in, might get a drink, or you might get a burger someplace, and it's a beautiful day, and you zip across. You're looking at the wall. Yeah, little things like that will just make me just happy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That is not appeal. I don't even want to be in the car that long, much less on a motorcycle. But that's just me. I mean, I like a good road trip. I also like to know that I'm going to get a break very frequently. And so anyway.
Now, what about a convertible? Would you go for a convertible?
Probably not for 1,000 miles at a time, but absolutely, that sounds
Oh,
fun.
that's even, I mean, even a car, that's a long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I do like convertibles. I've ridden in one a couple times. I had a boyfriend back in college who had one, and it was really fun when the top wouldn't come back on and it started raining. So yep, we only did
Been there,
that
done
once.
that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, it's kind of took the fun and magic out of it at that point. So, right. Oh my goodness. Okay, what else?
Oh, what else? Oh my gosh. Oh, you mean another subject or something more with Harley?
Either.
Either. Oh my gosh. Oh, I had one subject there, now you make me think of another subject. I really pulled my fingers out there. Dogs or cats? What's your preference?
Dogs, absolutely dogs. We have 3, and we had a cat. We called him Porch Cat, and he literally lived outside under our porch to keep vermin out of our house. We live in like 100-year-old farmhouse, and so we're constantly we're battling those things. And so
you gotta
dogs,
have an outside cat. Yeah,
but I gotta
oh,
have
yeah.
a cat. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a cat one time, but he got gone, and we have 2 dogs now. So I've always been a dog kind of guy. Yeah, and it's
Yep.
and let me see. Oh gosh, what were some of the other ones? It was like beer or wine.
You know what? If I was going to choose, I'd say wine, but I don't drink a whole lot of anything. There's just it doesn't really appeal to me. I don't know. I like a good Moscato. That's about my limits. It's
steak or chicken.
Definitely. Barbecue. Like all day long barbecue.
Yeah, all day long barbecue. What would be your ultimate meal on a barbecue?
Oh, I love, and I guess it depends on how you're defining barbecue, right? Because I know that down here, when we say barbecue, we're talking about smoked meat. And then there are other places you say barbecue and they're talking grilled hamburgers and hot dogs. So I guess it depends on your definition of barbecue.
Let's go both. If it's outside, I consider it a barbecue.
Yeah, so any kind of smoked meat. I love smoked chicken, and then slathered in barbecue sauce, like sweet barbecue sauce. It's good.
Oh, sweet.
Oh yeah. Okay, are you a reader? Are you big into reading?
I don't read that much. I think it's because I usually have a time limit how many times the book actually hits my forehead before that I then go to sleep. So
Gotcha.
I've kind of really worked on my top of my head there, but not that much of a voracious reader. I'll soak up a lot of stuff on the internet or TV. I might have a magazine out looking at my tablet and also watching TV at the same time just to keep myself entertained and soak up information.
I gotcha. Yeah, we're big on books around here. I mean, obviously I write them, but yes, we're big on books. And so I always have to ask if you're not a writer, are you a reader? But not everybody is. And that's
no, reader's different. Writer, I actually have a book I've been playing with for like 5 years. I have about the last couple chapters I got to finish up. Just out of the blue type of thing, just kind of a fiction story, something maybe I'd give my grandkids. It's just totally out the blue, oddball type story type thing. So I got to get around to finishing that. And then
yes, you do. And that is one thing and this is one of those things that I get real passionate about. Well, that happens, but I get real passionate about it because there's so many people like, oh, I started a book, and I'm like, finish it, because you don't know when that story is going to make a difference for somebody. So finish it.
Okay. We're going to go on we're going on a cruise. First part. Well, no, I could probably finish it by then. I got to find some time. No, don't procrastination. I'll do it.
No excuses.
No excuses. No, I'll sit there and excuse myself to death, and I know better than that. I know I have time. I know I have time to do it. And I get myself into the when I'm writing like that. I put on classical music, and then I just kind of float away into imagination, and then you're just typing away. And thank God for spell check, or I'd be doing kids books because I can't spell things by the 4 or 5 letters. It's like, oh my gosh.
I hear that. I'm with you. I mean, that's why I have an editor.
You got an editor.
Well, I have to. I mean, when you're writing 130,000 words at a time, I can't proofread my own work. I'll be like, yeah, that comma looks great there. And my editor's like, you used way too many commas, erase them. So I need an editor.
I don't even know what a comma is for. I got to look that up.
It's for taking a breath, apparently pausing.
Pause
I do that
and then go on. I want to pause
That's
on everything.
right.
Pause.
Just all the pauses. Oh my gosh. Okay. So what else do you want us to know about myartkit.com before we wrap up?
This is the last question thing?
Not yet, but we'll get to it.
I guess one of the biggest things about MyArkit is you go onto it and you click on the 30-day free trial. So we take no bank information. You click onto it. You kind of like take it for a test dive for 30 days. And if you don't want to get MyArkit, basically it reverts to what we call a view only account. You still have it there, but you can't add anything to it. But you can still go over to somebody else's account and view their stuff if you know the account's name and have permission to go over to their account. So it's one of those things, like, it's no big deal. Check it out. Yeah. And then basically then after a while, if I really got to do something with this, you can go right back over to your MyArkit account, because it's still going to be there, and just hit upgrade to a normal, and boom, away you go.
Oh, that's so simple. And so you have myarkit.com. Are there any social media platforms? How can listeners connect with you and your work?
We're on Facebook, MyArkit. We're on Twitter. I guess you call it Twitter still. MyArkit.
Okay.
And then we're on Instagram.
X, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even. I'm waiting for them to change it, but and then we're also on Instagram at MyArkit.
Okay, and all of that's going to be in the show notes, so it'll be as simple as clicking a button, and it'll take you to all of those places that you want to go. And then here is your big finale question. What is one piece of advice or encouragement that you want listeners to walk away with if they hear nothing else?
Don't procrastinate. There have so many people. I just had a cousin pass away from pancreatic cancer. It was within 2 weeks, and she was gone. And there was I can't remember, Megan Kelly. She's on the I think she's on Fox or something like that. I was clicking around on that, and she was sitting there saying she was taking a day off because a good friend of hers, boom, 40-something years old, passed away. So you never know. I always say people have an expiration date, but we don't know when. Get your mother, get your father, your grandparents. Just make it super simple. There's tons. We go right on our site, go to the help site, and it goes right to Archipedia, and you can find questions and stuff. Or there's even books and stuff out there to ask. And start asking your like I say, your mother, your father, your grandparents questions, and you can record them just on your phone. You can do little videos of them. People feel a lot more, I think, comfortable if they're not being videotaped. But I do a lot of stuff on my phone for audio, and start getting some of those simple little questions, because you're gonna miss them. You're gonna not know them. And all of a sudden, you don't know the next day or the next year, the next decade, or whatever, that person might pass away, and then boom, you don't have that time to do it anymore. Don't procrastinate.
I love that. Yes, absolutely. And I would also, I'm going to tack onto that and be like, and this is just from personal experience, like dads and husbands, like get that phone away from mom and take pictures of her with her kid, because I cannot tell you how many more pictures there are of my kid with her dad than there are of her with me. And so, unless it's a selfie that I have taken the initiative to take. So like, take the pictures. Yes, they may hate them or whatever, but be like, no, because you never know what happens if that's the last picture your kid has of you, or there are no pictures of you and your kids. So, dads, take the pictures.
Get the stories with the pictures.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I cannot tell you. I love like going back and listening to when my kiddo was 3 and just hearing her little voice, and, or seeing you just go back to those memories. And so I just love that. So don't take it for granted. Don't think I'll remember, because you won't, because even now I listen to it and I'm like, I don't remember her being that little. And so you're not going to remember. That's why you take the pictures, take the videos, make the memories.
Man, yeah, imagine you yourself, because your lifetime account is yourself, and all of a sudden you're doing certain stuff, you're talking about certain stuff, and all of a sudden 20, 30, 40 years down the road, you're talking about some stuff, and you go back 40 years ago going, did I sound like that? Did I really think that? It's going to be interesting, with this, what we're doing, way into the future, what things are going to be like.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Noah, thank you. I think this was a great conversation, and it was just a joy to get to talk to you. I think that what you have going on and what you have planned for the future, I think it is necessary, and I think it's fantastic. So congratulations and good luck with that.
Oh, thank you very much, Jennifer. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Okay, I'm going to stop